one, fight.
And that's the bottom line.
And his kick is good.
I need a weapon.
You cannot escape.
You forget 1,000 things every day. How about you make sure this is one of them?
Here we go.
It's time for the main event.
What's up? This is the Single Player Experience, the podcast dedicated to all things single player gaming. As always, I'm your host, Sebastion Mauldin, and each week we dive into the latest news, in-depth reviews, hand-picked recommendations, all to enhance your solo gaming journey. Whether you're here for the newest releases or the hidden gems, we got you covered. So grab your controller or whatever it is you do while listening to your favorite podcast, and let's get into the world of single player games. We got a hell of an episode for you today. Yes, it is that time of the year again. It is Gamescom opening night live. And let's be honest. Let's just be honest here. The show has a bit of a reputation. Some people call it the mid of video game showcases. It's not exactly the everybody stop what you're doing, earth-shattering reveal kind of show. Let's be honest. It's not that type of show. But hey, it's Gamescom, it's tradition, and it's happening from Cologne, Germany. So let's talk about it. What were the hottest games that were shown during Gamescom opening night live? Was it different this year where there's some single player games that kind of stood out above all the rest of like the showcase games? Spoiler alert. Yeah, I kind of think so. Anyways, let's get to it. All right, so first things first, before we begin, I'm mostly going to be focusing on single player big games, like the actual full games that they announced. I'm not going to be really diving deep into the nuances that is the expansions that they announced, and I'm going to be sticking with some of the games that really feel like they're bigger, larger than life, the highlights of the showcase. So right off the top, I'm just going to tell you I'm not going to be talking about some of the expansions, like the ones I really want to talk about, like Colt of the Lamb. Let's go, baby. Y'all, Cult of the Lamb is blessing us with more expansions, and I'm gonna keep phrasing it because I love Cult of the Lamb. So anyways, we got some new games coming at you. Let's start with number one. All right, so let's talk about the first game on our list. We got a brand new trailer for The Outer Wilds 2 during Gamescom, and this one was focused all on the companions. So if you didn't see it, the players playing, the trailer is playing right now if you are watching this podcast via video. But anyways, the gameplay looks solid, a little sharper than the first, but here's the kicker. They go out of their ways. I'm talking about out of the way to tell us, no, you cannot romance these characters. It's kind of funny, but if you've been playing any game in this kind of genre, the Western RPGs, whether you played Mass Effect, whether you played Dragon Age, whether you played Baldur's Gate 3, you kind of were expecting to get a little bit of that romance options, and for it not to have it here feels kind of like a misstep in a way. I don't think it's going to deter a whole lot of people from that were sold on this game from not playing the Outer Worlds 2, but it sort of feels like the romance is a key component of this genre, and for some reason this leans away from that, and I'm not really sure why. But anyways, hopefully we'll kind of still be able to click and vibe with our companions, even if we're not able to, do the WoW thing. So, outside of that though, the hype around this game kind of feels mixed in general. The price point at one point was $80 when they first announced the game, which really had a lot of people nervous. There was a lot of complaints that the Outer Worlds 2 didn't really seem like an $80 game. Not the developer's fault. I think a lot of the couple of people at the studio had said it's not us who sets the price for these type of games. Oh, it still felt like a misstep. They walked that back, though. Eventually, they reversed that. Now it's back to a $70 title, which kind of feels more aligned, at least towards the value proposition that we're getting with the Outer Worlds 2. But still, it feels like the game has had its ups and downs as far as this marketing goes. The pricing fiasco, now not being able to romance your companions, which is a tried and true staple of the genre, kind of feels like a misstep as well. But it's not the end of the world. I'm still looking forward to playing the game. I liked the first game, but I didn't necessarily love it. Hopefully this game, the sequel, kind of brings me in and gives me a little bit more of what I'm looking for, or what I didn't necessarily, or less of what I didn't like about the first game. So I'm happy to play it. The game's dropping October 29th. It's a day one Game Pass game. It's coming out on Xbox as well, of course, PS5 and PC. I'm cautiously optimistic. I hope this is a surprise hit that really captures me and makes me feel like some of the magic that I did in Fallout, and also, give me a lot of the package that Starfield did not give me at all. So, yeah, that's the Outer Worlds 2. Next up, I want to talk about a game that kind of took me by surprise in a very big way, on multiple fronts, because I did not see this one coming. Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight was announced at Gamescom. We got a first look at a lot of the gameplay. We got a first look at a trailer, and I I was very surprised on what I saw, and a lot of things really surprised me about this game. First off, Batman is my all-time favorite superhero. I love Batman, from the comics to the animated series. I adore the Arkham games, and I really like most of the movies revolving around Batman, some more than others. Um, Batman Beyond, shit. Yeah, I loved Batman the animated series, Batman Beyond, and he's my favorite character in the Justice League show, the Justice League animated show. So yeah, I love me some Batman. Now that said, I didn't know what to think when this game was first announced. When I first saw the trailer at the very get go, I was just like, another Lego Batman game. And I say that not to say that those aren't good games. They just didn't click with me in a way that made me really want to play a lot of them. I feel like they're good games, especially for kids. I feel like if you wanted to do some mindless fun, they're really good sandbox games, but I never really felt compelled to want to just dive into the Lego games beyond what I played on the surface, So this game, though, it looks like it's hitting all the right notes for me. It is hidden in a way that I wasn't expecting at all. So this one, let me tell you about. So we got the Joker, Joker quote and Heath Ledger. That's already a plus. The Dark Knight is one of my favorite movies of all time. We got the Penguin from the Batman movie, wilding out and doing that famous car scene where Batman drives through the fire. We got that scene that they showcase. We got Bane and his hilarious voice from The Dark Knight Rises, and doing, "You think darkness is your ally? I was born in darkness. I didn't see the light until I was a man, and by then it was blinding." Forgive the bad impression, but yeah, we got some of the dopest scenes from the Dark Knight trilogy, and all that in Lego fashion. But really, just what really took it over the top is the Arkham-like combat that I saw on display. That's right, like a lot of the combat that we saw in this game feels very copy paste from the Arkham games, which are some of the games that I adore. I think some of my all time favorite memories in video games have come from that trilogy. Love those games, and seeing that this is kind of like a mashup between the Lego style and format mixed in with some of the Arkham combat is right up my alley. Add on to that, they gave us the Arkham like gameplay with a harder difficulty modes. So for the first time in my life, a Lego game, and like, I can't believe I'm saying this, a Lego game it cracked a high point in my most anticipated games list. I'm looking forward to this shit, especially since it's been a long time. And I'm talking about a long time since we got a proper Batman video game. That's right. Yeah, I just dissed Gotham Knights. So yeah, Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight was announced at Gamescom. It looks phenomenal. I am dying to play this next year in 2026. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. All right, so I want to talk about another game that was highlighted at Gamescom. This one isn't a new announcement, but we did get a new trailer. That would be Ghost of Yotei. It is my game of the show. Like, I know this wasn't a new announcement, like I said, but damn, I'm excited about this game. I am hyped to play more of the Ghost universe. I really adored Ghost of Tsushima. It was one of my favorite games when it came out that year, right alongside The Last of Us Part 2. This game looks like it is going to be right up my alley and a sequel that's going to keep me engaged for hours upon hours. So, if you didn't know, Ghost of Yotei is set 300 years after Ghost of Tsushima, which is the story that followed Jin and his quest to basically liberate his homeland. This one, though, follows the story of Atsu, who is a warrior. She's a haunted mercenary who's hunting for revenge. And listen, I haven't touched my PS5 much this year. I'm gonna be the first one to say it because like a lot of the games that I've been leaning towards and been playing, a lot of those I've been playing a lot of those on my Xbox or on the PC via my PC and my Steam Deck. So I haven't touched my PlayStation much this year, but that's about to change because October 7th, it's about to go down. This trailer, just like every other one before it, absolutely sold me on the game. It's gorgeous landscapes. It has that tense sword fights that I loved from the original, mixed in with some new fighting styles and some new weapons that they brought to the table. That I can't wait to play it. And of course, it looks like it's going to be heavy on the storytelling, especially heavy on the emotional side of the fence. This is a story all about a girl who's grappling and grappling with her all-consuming rage and her thirst for vengeance against the people who killed her family. You already got me sold. I love a story like that. You know, we got Assassin's Creed earlier this year, Shadows, and I thought that was decent. It didn't quite give me the highs that I was looking for in a story like that. This looks like it's going to be giving me all the highs that I was missing in Assassin's Creed Shadows. So yeah, I'm definitely excited about this. Easily my most anticipated game for the rest of this year. So yeah, Ghost of Yotei. If you haven't seen any of the other trailers yet, do yourself a favor, go check them out. They're absolutely fantastic. I can't wait for October 2nd. All right, so I want to talk about another game that was announced and showcased at Gamescom. We saw a little bit about this game when it was earlier announced, but this one gave us a bigger trailer, a bigger dive into the gameplay and some of the changes that it had over its predecessor. So let's talk about that indie magic, shall we? Moonlighter. Oh, Moonlighter. So if y'all didn't know, Moonlighter was one of my favorite indie games probably ever at this point. I love me some Moonlighter. Moonlighter was a roguelike dungeon crawler mixed with shopkeeping. So basically you would go out at night and you would go into dungeons, fight bosses, fight regular enemies, manage your backpack system, which was like you would carry a backpack and whatever items you would kill off of your enemies, you would take those items, put it in your backpack, and then at the end of your loop, which was like a Zelda top-down gameplay, gameplay like action game, you would basically end your day by going going back out of the cave, or you would die and then keep some of the loot that you had in your backpack and take that back with you to your shop. When you got back to your shop in the morning time, it was time to organize your shop by putting out some of the stuff you got on display and allowing the townspeople to basically shop for your hard-earned rewards. I liked it, loved it. It was a satisfying gameplay loop. The sequel here that we're seeing right now, if you're watching this visually, this is Moonlighters 2, The Endless Vault. It is keeping that same tried and true gameplay loop that people who played the first game absolutely adored, but it now flips to a cel-shaded 3D art style, and I think that's a welcome change. I would have gladly played more of that 2D pixel art goodness, but this cel-shaded 3D art style speaks to me in a different way as well. It feels in a way more modernized. It adds and I'm not going to say it adds more quality to it, but it adds a level of detail in the designs and the area that makes this game feel a little more prestigious in the fact that it doesn't have that retro 2D art style look. I like this new art style. I think it has a cuteness to it. It also has personality. Like I said, the details in like the stonework and the different biomes that you're exploring. it feels like this game could have easily been made by first party Nintendo, and I think that's the highest compliment that a lot of gamers could give a game like this. It looks amazing. I'm glad that they kept that same gameplay loop of like you running through different dungeons and trying to get as much gear as you can to basically sell to the people of the town, which basically gives you money to upgrade your equipment or upgrade the town itself, which also gives you resources because it gives you new places to shop and new gear, new accessories. Basically, it helps you grow as well. You help out the town grow, they help you grow. This game is coming October 23rd on PC to early access, and trust me, I will be there. Numero uno, day one. Ah, I can't wait for Moonlighter 2, The Endless Vault.
Mission complete.
All right, so we're down to the nitty gritty. The last game on our list. I was a little surprised that this closed the show. So it was Black Myth Zong. I think it's Zong Ku, and this is from the studio that made Black Myth Wukong. You know, the game that basically took over the world. That it was a game rooted in Chinese mythology. If you didn't already know, like it was the tale of Son Goku, and that is kind of the inspiration behind the Dragon Ball series. The game looked awesome visually. It played like a mixture between like a Souls game and an action game. That game had very zippy combat. It was known for its bombastic boss fights. So, and it was a game that broke records as far as like sales go. A lot of people loved Black Myth Wukong. Me myself wasn't super huge into it. I tried it out, wasn't necessarily for me, but yeah, they ended the show. Jeff ended Gamescom Opening Night Live with the new installment that's also rooted in Chinese mythology. It looks epic as well. There's a bat, like it showcased these people hiding from like this guy that's on this badass tiger that sort of looks like a mixture between a giant tiger and a giant saber tooth. And there's like almost like a Chinese god that's like riding him. And the trailer, just like Black Myth Wukong, looks visually stunning. And I think that's one of the tried and true qualities that we're getting out of Game Science, the studio that made Black Myth, is that they make absolutely crazy looking, visually stunning games. They have a skill at it. It's like an uncanny skill to just make visual showpieces. Even though their games, at least so far, haven't spoken to me on a personal level, I'm excited. It's always good to have new blood in the industry, another game that people are liking and enjoying, even if it's not necessarily your cup of tea. So yeah, this announcement didn't hit for me on they closed the show with this type of level. Like, it didn't get me hyped, but I'm glad to see it here because for the fans of Black Myth Wukong, this looks like you're getting more of what you loved in that game, just in a different mythological setting. And that's always nice. That's always nice. So shout out to Game Science, shout out to the Black Myth franchise, because it looks like they're turning this bad boy into a franchise. I'm excited that other people are excited. So yeah, that's the last of that. That's the last of the announcements. All right, so overall, Gamescom Opening Night Live 2025. It was fine. It was a fine show. It wasn't great. I don't think it blew a lot of people's minds. I don't think it was like this bombastic must-see show. But I think with a show like this, especially since we've seen what Opening Night Live is year over year, you kind of got to check your expectations at the door at this point. You know, this ain't the Game Awards. This isn't Summer Game Fest. You know, this isn't even E3 from back in the day. This is its own beast, and you kind of expect games that, for a lot of people who are fans of those type of genres or fans of that series, this shit's probably going to hit for them. They're probably going to be an excitement level there. But I think for single player fans like me, there was definitely some highlights. And it didn't matter if you were a fan of Souls games, because there were Souls games present. There was action games. There was, some indies present here as well, especially with Moonlighters and Cult of the Lamb. There was some AAA goodness. I didn't mention this earlier, but we got to see the new Resident Evil game, Resident Evil 9, and it looks amazing. I'm just not into Resident Evil because I'm a coward. I'm chicken shit when it comes to horror games. But we also got Silent Hill F, which visually looked spectacular as well. Just not my cup of tea. We also got some Souls likes games like Lord of the Fallen 2, which I think that game, the first game, came out to kind of like a middle of the road kind of review roundup, but a lot of people seem to like the first game enough that they got a sequel. So we got that announcement here as well. So there was some really cool single player games here. So any showcase that shows off that, a whole different slew of genres in the single player space is always a win. For me personally, though, I think Ghost of Yotei was my favorite game that was shown here. It's so high up my damn anticipated list. It's not funny at this point. I'm so excited about the game, salivating for it, as a matter of fact. Moonlighter 2 looks great. It looks more of the same, but in a new art style, and I love that. I absolutely can't wait to play more Moonlighter. I think the first game just took over my life for such a period of time, and I can't wait for the second one to do that again. And then I think the surprise of the show was Lego Batman, which surprised the hell out of me. I wasn't expecting to really be as excited as I am to play a Lego game, if I'm being honest. I think those games have always been great, just not quite my cup of tea. I think they've been a little too easy for me, also a little bit like tried and true formulaic. It kind of feels like once you play one, you sort of played a lot of them. At least the games have always looked visually stunning from a Lego art style perspective, but haven't necessarily been for me, though. Even with the Batman games, which is the Batman and the Marvel games, which are right up my alley as far as like IP like in love is concerned. They just never clicked with me. This Lego Batman game, though, looks like a Arkham game in Batman skin with still some of that Lego charm and humor. I like that is taking inspirations and shots straight out of the movies. I think the head of the studio and the head director was talking about on stage that they took a lot of some of the Easter eggs and a lot of spots out of the comics and a lot of the animated series, a little bit of everything revolving around the Batman ethos and lore, and that has me excited. Looks like they did their homework there. I think this game is going to be quality. I absolutely do. If it's anything less than an 8 out of 10 across the board, I'm kind of going to be disappointed. But the game looks spectacular, though. I'm so excited to play that. Was anything here shown at Gamescom opening out live like earth shattering? Probably not. I don't think there was anything shown that most people are going to say, yeah, that's going to be the next 10 out of 10 experience game of the year easily. No, but I don't think we got anything that was like that. But I think everyone who plays video games got fed one way or another. There was almost something, at least one thing for everybody here, especially in the single player space. So yeah, I think this was a okay show. What would I give it, like a 9 out of 10 or 8 out of 10 as far as like a showcase goes? Hell no. This is easily a solid 6 out of 10 showcase. But that's just my take. You might have something different. Hit me up and let me know what you thought about Gamescom this year. What's your most anticipated game until next time? But by the way, let me know in the comments below. Keep letting me know what you think about these type of things. I'm always happy to hear your thoughts. Happy to see what the audience is talking about, and I want to keep my ears to the ground there. So until next time, keep your backlog in list, your save files safe, and your coffee or your drink of preference strong. Enjoy the single player experience and your journey while you're gaming. I've been Sebastion. Until next time, remember, the best experiences you have are often those single player experiences. Bye, everybody.